This chilling story comes from the uncle, a friend of Pa Mao's mother, who experienced a terrifying encounter and shared it with us. It all began more than 30 years ago on a silent night in the upper north of Thailand. A music band had just finished a show and was packing their gear. They had another gig lined up that night in a neighboring district about 10 kilometers away. Due to scheduling overlap, part of the group decided to walk ahead while waiting for the equipment truck. There were 6 of them: Lungtrum, Pawan, Payud, Pa Mao's mother, her older brother, and 1 female singer. Though it was nearly 2 a.m., the moonlight was bright enough to illuminate the countryside path. On their left was a deep ravine with a creek running below, and on the right were endless fields of cassava and soybeans. At first, they chatted and joked along the way, but as they walked deeper into the night, an eerie silence settled in. To break the stillness, Lungtum suggested they sing. They began an old Indian-style duet song, dancing lightly as they walked. By 3 a.m., something felt off. In rural areas, there should have been trucks from early market vendors by then. Yet the road remained completely deserted. Then a fork in the road appeared. To the right was a sign pointing to the market. Lungtum told May and the singer to take that route. The rest kept going straight. Soon after, Payud complained of a stomachache and needed a bathroom urgently. They spotted a faint light from a house off to the right. They decided to head toward it. As they neared the house, a strange woman emerged from behind. She wore a dull-colored dress and a patterned scarf around her neck. Lungtum tried to talk to her, but she said nothing, only trailing behind them silently. As they reached the house's gate, Lungtum invited Pawan to come with him inside, but she declined. She said she'd wait at a nearby pavilion. The mysterious woman had now walked ahead, sitting on the pavilion steps. Pawan sat farther in, beside her. Pawan tried to start a conversation, but the woman remained silent, her legs dangling. Uneasy, Pawan began singing, telling her they were headed to another gig. The woman didn't react. Moments later, she slowly squatted, hugged her knees, and rocked herself. Pawan noted her worn-out, dirty clothes and wondered if the woman was mentally unstable. Suddenly, the woman jumped down and stood with legs apart before Pawan. As Pawan looked up, her face turned pale with fear. The scarf wasn't normal. It was a ritual cloth used for binding corpses. Worse, blood had soaked through it and stained her clothes dark. The ghost glared at her and demanded she remove the sacred amulet from her neck. It wanted to possess her and leave that place. It pressed down on her shoulders. Pawan couldn't speak, her voice paralyzed. A putrid, salty stench engulfed her. The ghost repeated its demand, saying it just wanted to leave. Desperate, Pawan mustered her strength and kicked the spirit away. At that moment, Lung Tum arrived and saw her panicked, sarong twisted up to her waist. She leapt down. He grabbed her and asked what happened. She screamed about the ghost. Lung Tum stopped her from saying more. They turned back. The ghost, furious, was pulling its hair and stomping the ground in rage. It chased them, screaming, but couldn't enter the house's grounds. Inside, the three, Lung Tum, Pa Wan, and Pa Jut, stood shaking. Pa Jut sobbed uncontrollably. Lung Tum shone his flashlight into the room where the old lady was cooking. He saw 2 urns on a table inside a mosquito net. 2 human silhouettes sat up and opened the net. Lung Tum turned to the old lady still stirring her pot, but there was no fire, no wood, yet the soup boiled.
As he tried to speak, the old lady grabbed his arm with unnatural strength and calmly said, "Ask me anything. I'll tell you the truth." Lung Tum remembered she once said her husband died and her children moved to Bangkok. He asked whose the other urn was. She smiled, revealing pitch-black teeth. "That urn is mine, child." It was like lightning struck their hearts. All 3 leapt off the porch without using the stairs and ran for their lives. Pa Yut, in her short pants and high-heeled boots, led the sprint. Exhausted, they kept running. Then a motorbike approached. Pa Wan and Pa Yut looked back. A man rode it. He had eyes and a nose, but no mouth. They screamed and dove into the forest. Lung Tum, too tired to flee, faced the rider. Seeing the faceless face, he punched him hard. The man fell, crying out, "I'm not a ghost. I live around here." He had been wearing a balaclava to shield against the cold. The villagers helped escort them back to the market. They had unknowingly run in a circle. Later, Lung Tum learned that Pa Yut had been speaking to the old woman who had told her of her abandonment. Ma Chu believed she meant no harm, but her true identity and strength were terrifying. Pa Wan's sacred amulet may have been what saved her. This happened in a time before modern development reached the countryside. The night was pitch black, like an old Thai horror movie come to life. And that memory has haunted them ever since.